The year 2026 hummed with an almost palpable energy, an electric current of innovation and ambition. Everywhere one looked, from the gleaming towers of financial districts to the hushed minimalist offices of tech startups, the omnipresent buzz was about artificial intelligence. It wasn't just a tool, it was hailed as the new gold rush, a digital El Dorado, promising untold riches to those brave or shrewd enough to stake their claim. The air was thick with stories of overnight millionaires, of algorithms that predicted markets with uncanny accuracy, and of AI assistants managing entire enterprises from the cloud. For many, it represented not just progress, but a second chance, a shimmering beacon of financial salvation in an increasingly uncertain world. Among those captivated by this dazzling promise was Alex, a diligent yet perpetually struggling entrepreneur. Alex had tasted the bitter ashes of several ventures that had promised much but delivered little. Each failure had chipped away at their savings, leaving them teetering on the precipice of giving up. But AI, with its seemingly boundless potential, ignited a fresh spark of hope. This, Alex believed, was it. This was the ultimate opportunity, the technological wave that would finally carry them to the shores of success and financial freedom. Their eyes, once shadowed by doubt, now gleamed with an almost childlike wonder at the prospect. The turning point arrived not in a grand revelation, but in a slick, meticulously produced webinar. Dr. Elias Thorne, a man whose silver hair and impeccably tailored suits exuded an aura of effortless success, commanded the virtual stage. Thorne was an AI guru, a self-proclaimed visionary who spoke with a hypnotic blend of scientific jargon and motivational rhetoric. He presented his Quantum Leap AI system, a proprietary creation, he claimed, designed to generate rapid, astronomical wealth with minimal human intervention. Thorne's demonstrations were flawless, showcasing graphs that soared vertically and testimonials that painted pictures of lives transformed. The system, he assured his captivated audience, leveraged cutting-edge AI to identify and exploit market inefficiencies at speeds impossible for any human. High returns, minimal effort. It was the siren song Alex had been waiting for. Drawn in by Thorne's charisma and the dazzling projections, Alex felt an undeniable pull, a conviction that this was the answer to all their prayers. With a deep breath and a prayer, Alex liquidated what little remained of their savings, pouring it all into Thorne's Quantum Leap system. The initial days were exhilarating. The interface was sleek, intuitive, and most importantly, the numbers on the dashboard climbed steadily, just as Thorne had promised. Small, impressive gains quickly accumulated, validating Alex's leap of faith. It truly seemed to work flawlessly, each successful transaction a reaffirmation of Thorne's genius. Yet, even amidst the euphoria, subtle dissonances began to emerge. Thorne's explanations for the system's inner workings often felt vague, shrouded in proprietary secrecy. His projections, while exciting, bordered on the hyperbolic, promising a continuous exponential growth curve that defied conventional economic wisdom. Alex, however, dismissed these nascent concerns, blinded by the intoxicating glow of early success and the powerful allure of financial liberation. The dream was too vivid, too real to be questioned. Then came the voice of dissent. Maya, Alex's closest friend and a pragmatic, often skeptical individual, voiced her apprehension during a strained coffee meeting. "Alex, are you absolutely sure about this? It sounds a bit too good to be true. These get-rich-quick schemes rarely end well." Her words, meant as a loving warning, grated on Alex's newfound confidence. Overwhelmed by the system's initial triumphs, Alex impatiently brushed aside Maya's concerns, convinced she simply didn't understand the revolutionary power of AI. The conversation ended stiffly, a hairline fracture appearing in their long-standing friendship. Later that week, a peculiar incident occurred. The Quantum Leap dashboard flickered, displaying a momentary, inexplicable dip in profits before Thorne's rapid intervention rectified it, citing a minor server adjustment. The numbers quickly recovered, but the fleeting glitch left Alex with a lingering, unsettling feeling, a faint whisper of doubt in the back of their mind. Encouraged by the continued, albeit subtly slowing, success displayed on the Quantum Leap dashboard, Alex plunged deeper into Thorn's world. The initial gains, while still impressive, had begun to plateau, a fact Thorn skillfully attributed to market consolidation or strategic recalibration. He then unveiled new, exclusive investment tiers, promising even greater returns for those willing to commit further. Alex, now deeply invested emotionally and financially, felt an irresistible pull to double down. Driven by a desperate need to recoup their initial investment and then some, Alex borrowed heavily from an unsuspecting relative and even took out a high-interest personal loan, rationalizing that the AI's guaranteed returns would easily cover the repayments. The Quantum Leap system became Alex's sole focus, a relentless obsession that consumed every waking hour, pushing friends, hobbies, and even basic self-care to the periphery. The thought of pulling out now was terrifying, a betrayal of the dream and the perceived potential. Yet, the illusion, carefully constructed by Thorn, began to show undeniable cracks. Withdrawal requests, once processed with lightning speed, now encountered frustrating delays. Emails to Thorn's support team were met with boilerplate responses citing unforeseen system upgrades or unprecedented market volatility. The smooth, confident facade Thorn presented online started to fray in Alex's mind. A subtle shift in the online investor forums became noticeable. Initially vibrant with success stories, they now buzzed with whispers of concern, then outright frustration. Other investors, once fervent disciples of Thorn, began sharing similar experiences of protracted withdrawal times and increasingly vague explanations. Alex noticed Thorn's once polished online presence growing evasive, his weekly Market Insights videos becoming less frequent and more generic. The inconsistencies in his narratives became harder to ignore, like discordant notes in an otherwise harmonious symphony. Then, a crucial piece of information surfaced, not from Thorn, but from the digital ether. An anonymous tip posted on a fringe financial forum hinted at a past lawsuit against Thorn for a strikingly similar AI-powered investment platform that had collapsed years prior. Simultaneously, a small, independent financial blog published a speculative piece questioning the legitimacy of high-yield AI investment schemes, using Thorn's Quantum Leap as a prime example of potentially unsustainable returns. The article meticulously detailed how such schemes often relied on new investor money to pay off earlier ones, a classic Ponzi structure. A cold dread seeped into Alex's bones. The carefully constructed world began to shatter. Alex, fueled by a potent mix of fear and righteous anger, finally confronted Thorn during one of his increasingly rare live webinars. Typing furiously in the public chat, Alex demanded transparency, pressing for answers about the withdrawal delays and the anonymous allegations. Thorn, caught off guard, initially attempted his usual manipulation, a practiced blend of feigned concern and veiled threats about disrupting market stability. He tried to gaslight Alex, suggesting their concerns were due to a lack of understanding or negative external influences. But Alex, pushed to the brink, refused to back down. The confrontation escalated, culminating in Thorn's chilling, almost casual admission. The AI system was largely a front. The initial successes were indeed funded by the influx of new money, a sophisticated Ponzi scheme masked by the alluring mystique of artificial intelligence. The promised AI was a fabrication, a phantom designed to ensnare the desperate and the hopeful. Alex's world imploded, the profound realization that they had been utterly betrayed, losing everything and potentially jeopardizing their loved ones' financial security, was a crushing blow. The aftermath was a desolate landscape of despair. Financial ruin loomed large, a terrifying abyss. The strained relationship with Maya, the skeptical friend, now became a source of agonizing regret, her warnings echoing painfully in Alex's mind. The online community of investors, once a beacon of shared ambition, dissolved into a maelstrom of anger, recriminations, and desperation. A profound sense of loss settled over Alex, heavy and suffocating. Yet, amidst the ashes of their shattered dreams, a tiny, burning ember of a new emotion began to ignite, a fierce, unyielding desire for justice, for redemption. The weight of betrayal pressed down on Alex, a crushing burden that threatened to suffocate any remaining hope. They had hit rock bottom, surrounded by the debris of shattered dreams and financial wreckage. The shame was a constant companion, whispering doubts and recriminations. For days, Alex moved through a fog of despair, the vibrant colors of life muted to a dull gray. Yet beneath the layers of defeat, a tiny spark flickered. It was anger, raw and potent, igniting a fierce determination to fight back, not just for themselves, but for every other victim Thorn had exploited. In this desolate period, an unexpected hand reached out. Maya, the skeptical friend whose warnings Alex had so carelessly dismissed, offered not judgment, but unwavering support. Her quiet presence and steady encouragement became Alex's anchor, a tangible reminder of enduring human connection and the true value of relationships beyond mere financial gain. This act of forgiveness and solidarity was the first step on Alex's long road to recovery. Driven by this renewed resolve, Alex pivoted from self-pity to a relentless pursuit of justice. The first step was to understand the real mechanisms of Thorn's deception. Alex began meticulously gathering every scrap of evidence, transaction records, screenshots of Thorn's promises, archived forum discussions, and even the seemingly innocuous glitches within the supposed AI system. It was a painstaking process, requiring countless hours of focused effort. Paradoxically, the very promise of AI that had lured Alex into Thorn's trap now became a tool for unraveling his lies. Alex immersed themselves in the genuine world of artificial intelligence, differentiating between legitimate applications and the smoke and mirrors of a Ponzi scheme. They learned about machine learning algorithms, data analytics, and ethical AI development, recognizing how Thorn had cleverly twisted these concepts to create his elaborate facade. This deep dive revealed the stark contrast between Thorn's empty claims and the tangible, verifiable progress of real AI. During this investigative period, Alex stumbled upon an online community, a collective of ethical AI developers, cybersecurity experts, and financial fraud investigators who shared a common goal: exposing AI-related scams. These individuals, often victims themselves or driven by a sense of moral responsibility, provided invaluable insights and resources. They had already been tracking Thorn, recognizing the patterns of his fraudulent operations. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance, pooling their knowledge and resources to build an irrefutable case. The climax of their efforts arrived with meticulous planning. Alex, now armed with a mountain of evidence and the collective backing of this dedicated community, orchestrated a public exposure of Thorn. They opted for a multi-pronged approach: a meticulously documented report shared with financial regulators, a coordinated social media campaign that laid bare Thorn's deceit, and a compelling exposé published by an investigative journalist who had been following the story. The public confrontation was intense. Thorn, cornered and exposed, initially attempted to deflect blame, resorting to his usual tactics of gaslighting and intimidation. He tried to discredit Alex and their allies, painting them as disgruntled investors or competitors. But the evidence was overwhelming, irrefutable, and presented with chilling clarity. As the truth unfolded across news headlines and social media feeds, Thorn's carefully constructed empire crumbled spectacularly. The public outcry was immediate and immense, fueled by the stories of countless victims who had been manipulated and betrayed. Thorn faced swift legal consequences, his assets frozen, and his fraudulent operations shut down. While not all victims recovered their losses, the swift action provided a measure of closure and prevented further devastation. Alex, though still bearing the scars of betrayal, emerged from the ordeal a stronger, wiser individual. The experience had been a crucible, forging resilience and an unwavering commitment to integrity. They dedicated themselves to educating others about ethical AI, warning against the seductive allure of get-rich-quick schemes, and advocating for greater transparency in the burgeoning AI landscape. Alex channeled their hard-earned knowledge and experience into building something genuinely valuable. Not for quick riches, but for positive impact. They joined a legitimate AI startup focused on developing accessible educational tools, using AI to empower individuals rather than exploit them. The journey had been arduous, marked by profound loss and despair, but it had also led to a rediscovery of purpose. Alex was not wealthy in the traditional sense, but they were rich in integrity, in the trust of their loved ones, and in the profound satisfaction of contributing to a better, more ethical future, demonstrating the true, transformative potential of AI when wielded responsibly. The year 2026 hummed with an almost palpable electricity, a vibrant current of innovation flowing through every digital artery. Artificial intelligence, once a whisper in the halls of academia, had exploded into a roaring torrent, promising not just convenience, but unprecedented wealth. Headlines screamed of overnight millionaires, of algorithms trading stocks with superhuman precision, of AI-driven businesses scaling at unimaginable rates. It was the new gold rush, a digital Klondike where fortunes were forged in lines of code rather than veins of ore. For countless individuals, this technological revolution represented the ultimate lottery ticket, a chance to escape the mundane and seize a future shimmering with possibility. Among them was Alex, a young entrepreneur whose ambition burned brighter than their bank balance. Alex had always possessed a keen mind and an unwavering belief in their own potential, yet success had remained an elusive phantom. Every venture, every late-night hustle had ended in a frustrating near miss. Now, watching the AI phenomenon unfold, a desperate hope ignited within them. This, Alex believed, was it. This was the wave they were meant to ride. The ultimate opportunity to finally break free from the cycle of struggle and carve out the prosperous life they so desperately craved. The sheer scale of the opportunity, the ease with which others seemed to be accumulating wealth, filled Alex with a dizzying mix of awe and fervent determination. Their path soon converged with that of Dr. Alistair Thorne, a figure who seemed to embody the very promise of this new era. Thorne was a man of impeccable tailored suits, a silver-tongued orator with an aura of undeniable success. He held exclusive seminars, his voice a smooth balm promising liberation from financial woes. His offering was Synapse, a proprietary AI system that, according to Thorne, could generate rapid, almost effortless wealth. He spoke of cutting-edge algorithms, of predictive analytics far beyond human comprehension, of a system so sophisticated it sidestepped market volatility and guaranteed consistent high returns. His demonstrations were flawless, showcasing graphs that soared skyward, profits materializing seemingly out of thin air. Alex, mesmerized by Thorne's charisma and the allure of Synapse, felt a magnetic pull. Every word Thorne uttered resonated with Alex's deepest desires, painting a vivid picture of a future where financial worries simply ceased to exist. With a leap of faith and a significant portion of their meager savings, Alex invested in Synapse. The initial days were exhilarating. The system, true to Thorne's word, began delivering impressive gains. Alex watched, captivated as their digital balance swelled, each percentage point a validation of their decision, a tangible step closer to freedom. The AI seemed to work flawlessly, a silent, tireless engine churning out prosperity. Thorne's promises, once seemingly audacious, now felt like undeniable truths. Yet, amidst the euphoria, subtle dissonances began to emerge. Thorne's explanations for Synapse's inner workings were always vaguely technical, peppered with buzzwords but lacking genuine transparency. His projections, while thrilling, often felt almost too good to be true. Alex, however, buoyed by the immediate success and the intoxicating dream of financial liberation, easily dismissed these faint whispers of doubt. They were merely the anxieties of an old life, soon to be forgotten. The first real crack in the gleaming facade appeared not from within the system, but from without. Sarah, Alex's longtime friend and a pragmatist by nature, voiced her concerns during a strained coffee meeting. "It just sounds too good to be true, Alex," she had warned, her brow furrowed with genuine worry. "These get-rich-quick schemes often end badly. Are you sure you've done your due diligence?" Alex, brimming with newfound confidence and a touch of arrogance, had scoffed, dismissing Sarah's caution as rooted in a lack of vision. "You just don't understand the power of AI, Sarah," Alex had retorted, the conversation ending abruptly, leaving a bitter taste and a strained silence between them. Later that week, a minor inexplicable glitch briefly caused Synapse's profits to dip. a flicker of red in the otherwise green sea of returns. Thorne's team quickly rectified it, attributing it to a minor server adjustment. Yet the momentary anomaly left Alex with a tiny, unsettling feeling, a cold pinprick of unease in the warmth of their blossoming success. Encouraged by the seemingly consistent, albeit now slightly slower success of Synapse, Alex plunged deeper, driven by an insatiable hunger for the promised financial freedom. The initial gains, though momentarily disrupted by that unsettling glitch, had instilled a dangerous confidence. Alex saw the dip not as a warning, but as a test, quickly overcome by Thorne's infallible system. To accelerate their journey to wealth, Alex took out a significant loan, leveraging their small inheritance and even borrowing from unsuspecting family members, painting a rosy picture of guaranteed returns. Synapse consumed Alex's every waking thought, a digital siren song drowning out all other aspects of life. Friends were neglected, hobbies abandoned, and even basic self-care became secondary to monitoring the ever-fluctuating figures on the Synapse dashboard. Thorne, ever the astute manipulator, sensed Alex's increased dependency. He introduced new, tantalizing tiers of investment, exclusive premium packages promising even more astronomical returns for those willing to commit further. These were, he claimed, for the truly visionary, the ones who understood the unparalleled potential of his AI. Alex, now deeply entrenched, felt an almost physical inability to pull back. The thought of missing out on even greater profits, of letting this golden opportunity slip through their fingers, was unbearable. The financial commitments were so substantial that retreat felt synonymous with utter ruin. However, the illusion, meticulously crafted by Thorne, began to fray at the edges. Withdrawal requests, once processed with seamless efficiency, now encountered frustrating delays. Emails to support went unanswered for days, and when a response finally came, it was often a generic, unsatisfying excuse about system upgrades or unforeseen market fluctuations. Alex started frequenting online forums and private chat groups dedicated to Thorne's Synapse, hoping to find answers. Instead, they found a growing chorus of discontent. Other investors, once fervent believers, now voiced concerns bordering on panic. Stories of delayed withdrawals, denied requests, and increasingly vague communications from Thorne's team painted a grim picture. Alex noticed Thorne's public appearances becoming scarcer, his online presence more curated, his once charming evasiveness now bordering on outright deception. Then a crucial piece of information surfaced, not from Thorne, but from an anonymous tip posted on a fringe financial blog. It detailed the intricate web of shell companies linked to Thorne, his previous business ventures that had mysteriously dissolved, and, most chillingly, a pattern of operations eerily similar to classic Ponzi schemes. The article didn't explicitly name Synapse, but the parallels were undeniable, a cold dread creeping into Alex's heart. Armed with this unsettling knowledge, Alex confronted Thorne, demanding answers, a desperate plea for transparency. The meeting was fraught with tension. Thorne, initially composed, attempted to charm Alex, then subtly threatened, reminding Alex of the substantial investment and the potential for market instability if panic spread. He gaslighted Alex, questioning their understanding, suggesting Alex was simply getting cold feet, but Alex held firm, pushing for concrete explanations, for proof of the AI's existence beyond the dazzling, unverified numbers. The confrontation culminated in a devastating revelation, a truth that shattered Alex's world into a million pieces. Thorne, his veneer finally crumbling under Alex's relentless questioning, let slip a crucial detail, a casual admission that exposed the entire charade. The AI system, the cutting-edge algorithms, the predictive analytics, it was all a meticulously constructed fabrication. The initial success was merely the money from new investors being paid out to earlier ones, a classic Ponzi scheme. Thorne's operation was not about advanced AI, it was about advanced deception. Alex had been completely, utterly betrayed, losing everything, and worse, jeopardizing the financial stability of loved ones who had trusted Alex's judgment. The aftermath was a crushing weight of despair. Financial ruin loomed, a stark, terrifying reality. The strained relationship with Sarah, the skeptical friend, now became a source of profound, agonizing regret. The online community of investors, once a beacon of shared hope, dissolved into a maelstrom of anger, recrimination, and desperation. A profound sense of loss enveloped Alex, yet beneath the crushing weight of betrayal, a flicker of something else ignited, a burning desire for justice, a desperate need to reclaim a semblance of dignity from the ashes of their shattered dreams. Alex plummeted to rock bottom, the weight of their choices pressing down like a tombstone. Days bled into weeks, marked by an acute sense of personal failure and the gnawing fear of impending financial collapse. The initial shame was a suffocating blanket, making it hard to breathe, hard to think. Yet beneath the layers of despair, a tiny, defiant spark began to glow. It was anger, raw and potent, fueling a nascent determination to fight back, to claw their way out of the abyss. Sarah, who had every right to say, "I told you so," instead offered a lifeline of unwavering support. Her steady presence was a balm, a silent testament to the enduring power of true friendship, proving that some bonds could withstand even the most catastrophic of mistakes. The path to justice began with a single, resolute decision. Thorn had to be exposed. Alex, driven by a desire to protect others from a similar fate, began meticulously gathering every scrap of evidence. The fraudulent Synapse platform, once a symbol of false hope, became a digital crime scene. Alex pored over transaction logs, communication records, and the anonymous tip that had first revealed Thorn's true colors. This painstaking process forced Alex to confront the stark difference between Thorn's fabricated AI and the genuine potential of the technology. They immersed themselves in learning about legitimate AI applications, understanding how they were designed, how they generated value, and crucially, how they differed from Thorn's empty promises. This newfound knowledge became a powerful weapon. During this intense period of investigation, Alex stumbled upon an online community, a collective of ethical AI developers, data scientists, and victims of similar scams. This group, united by a shared commitment to integrity and a disdain for exploitation, became Alex's unexpected allies. They shared tools, insights, and a collective resolve to unmask those who tarnish the reputation of genuine technological innovation. Together, they began to piece together Thorn's extensive network of deception, identifying other victims, and uncovering the full scale of his sophisticated Ponzi scheme. The individual threads of betrayal began to weave into a comprehensive tapestry of fraud. The climax arrived with a carefully orchestrated plan. Armed with irrefutable evidence compiled by Alex and the digital forensics experts from the online community, they initiated a multi-pronged public exposure. A detailed investigative report, spearheaded by a reputable tech journalist connected through their new allies, was published, laying bare Thorn's entire operation. Simultaneously, Alex and several other prominent victims filed a coordinated legal action, backed by the overwhelming evidence. The public confrontation was brutal. Thorn, caught off guard by the sheer volume and veracity of the evidence, initially attempted to deflect blame, issuing vague denials and threatening countersuits. But his carefully constructed facade crumbled under the weight of undeniable facts and the collective testimony of those he had defrauded. The truth, finally revealed to a wider audience, caused Thorn's empire to collapse with astonishing speed, its foundations built on lies and deceit. Thorn eventually faced severe legal consequences, his ill-gotten gains largely frozen, offering a glimmer of hope for some victims to recover a portion of their losses. Alex, though still bearing the scars of betrayal and financial loss, emerged stronger, wiser, and imbued with a profound sense of purpose. The experience had been a crucible, forging a new path. They dedicated themselves to educating others about ethical AI, speaking at conferences, and contributing to online resources that helped individuals discern genuine opportunities from predatory scams. Alex, now an advocate for responsible technology, began to build something genuinely valuable with their hard-earned knowledge. Not for quick riches, but for positive impact, leveraging real AI to solve real problems. They were not wealthy in the traditional sense, but rich in integrity, purpose, and the rediscovered trust of their loved ones. The true ethical potential of AI in 2026, Alex realized, lay not in get-rich-quick schemes, but in its capacity to empower, connect, and build a better future, one built on transparency and genuine innovation.